Hello, rodeo fans, and welcome back to the Short Round Podcast, the official podcast of the Canadian Professional Rodeo Association. I'm your host, Wacey Anderson, where I'm pleased to be joined this time by a three-time NFR qualifier. I can't remember how many times he's made the CFR, but I'm sure it's quite a bit. But part of the Wanchuk crew, my buddy Kolby Wanchuk. Kolby, thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Right on, man. So, yeah, we were kind of talking a bit about off screen, but you recently welcomed your first baby. Rhodes is the name, and how are you and Carly doing after post baby?
Real good, real
Yeah,
good. A little hard on the sleep schedule, but it's a pile of fun.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. Is it? How has that kind of just changed your whole perspective? I know a lot of people, when once they start having kids and that becomes a thing, especially in the rodeo world, just kind of changes the whole outlook on the whole deal.
I don't know if it's gonna change a whole lot for me. I think I still look at rodeo the same way. I
Mhm.
mean, it's my job, there to go do what I do, and but dang sure makes it more exciting to come home every time. And yeah, it's pretty cool experience for sure. And he's a pile of fun, and I'm sure he's gonna keep me busy for a long time.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fun to you see more and more of like the guys our age having their little kids running around. It's just fun to see kind of them grow as we all kind of make our way through our rodeo journey. So it's exciting for you guys again. Congratulations.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's jump into 2024. So last year you qualified for the NFR after missing in 2023, which obviously must have been a motivating factor. But what was kind of recap 2024? What changed for you a little bit, and what kind of helps you push enough to get back to that top 15 in the world?
Things were kind of just going my way. I actually got off to a slow start there last year, and I didn't have a whole bunch won going in the summer. And shoot, around the time Calgary hit, won a couple rounds there, and I went and won a couple other rodeos in a row that week, and just got on a roll. And kind of never stopped, just kept picking away steady the rest of the way through the summer and into the fall, and got to go back to the yellow shoots.
Yeah, it's cool. It's wild how it's like changed. I don't know, really changed, I guess, but there's so much money available throughout the whole season now, where it's like maybe if you have a tough winter or a tough spring or maybe a slow summer, you can still make up a lot of ground in a short amount of time. Even at the end of the year, you look like they added the Rough Rider Cup and the Cinch finals, and there's so much again, like I said, so much money available throughout the whole season to make what you need to get in that inside that top 15.
Yeah, there used to be times where this is the time to get hot. It's the 4th of July.
Yeah.
You want to win a bunch, but I mean, you can come into September 25th in the world and make a run for the world championship. Never mind just making the finals. There's so much money um, at all different times through the season.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, we get 100 rodeos count, and then last year it took 130 some thousand make the
Mhm.
NFR. So I mean, you got to be, thinking you got to make $1,300 every time you nod your head as a minimum if you
Yeah.
want to get there. And yeah, it's pretty exciting and pretty cool. And it's just growing every year. And we're getting new cool events and new cool stadiums every year. And excited to see where it goes in my career.
Yeah, it's interesting like how like I guess that could be a question in itself. It's like how is your approach to like entering and going where you want to go change? Because like you say, there's so many new events popping up. There's the bronc matches. There's all different kinds of ways to make your money. But and like you say, you only have 100 times to do it, so you kind of got to be a bit selective with what you can go to and where you want to go.
Yeah, no, it's a whole game within itself, figuring out how to enter and what's going to work for you and which rodeos you do well, which horses suit you.
Hmm.
There's different contractors have different styles of horses, and some will fit your style better than others. Um, so it all needs to be taken into consideration when you start opening those books. And when you open those books in January, well, they only give you the rodeos that are there till March.
Yeah.
It wasn't until July, August. You kind of got to keep some rodeos available. It wasn't until July, August that we knew
Hmm.
about the Rough Rider Cup and the increase in money at the tour finals and all that. So you kind of, I don't know, keeps you guessing. You got to be ready for anything and keep some rodeos open.
So are you the guy in your crew like doing all that managing of the time and where you're going, or who's running that show for you?
I haven't done the entering as much historically. But I don't know, I guess get my 2 cents in and
Yeah,
try to
yeah,
help plan out our runs and make it all make sense. I've seen to be in charge of the travel plans more often
right,
and figuring
right.
out how everyone gets where they need to go.
Well, at least you're contributing because I know there's a lot of guys, and I've been around over the years that they just show up when it's time to go and they have no idea where we're heading. So at least you're chipping in. It probably helps out with the overall dynamic of everything.
Yeah, no, I keep a pretty close watch on everything, and I don't necessarily just want to go to all the rodeos my traveling partners go to. So
Hmm.
I like to watch that and kind of, you know, go with my own path. I mean, do what works with the guys, but I want to hit the rodeos I want to hit here and make those ones work.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. You mentioned how in the early part of the season you kind of try to be selective because you only have a window of which rodeos you can go to. So do you have like a set number you're like wanting to hit in the wintertime, you think? Or what how is your approach to make sure like you say you have some left over later in the year?
Yeah, I definitely like to take it easy through the winter.
Hmm.
There's a lot of guys get in a big hurry and it's big rush, got to get in the standings now. Um, and they'll be going running to, mid-sized rodeos, smaller rodeos. Well, and everybody's entered at them, and they all go on for a week or so because
Hmm.
they know they're going to get the entries. So then it becomes a bit more of a drawing contest. So, I kind of like to save those ones for when we get to August and there's, you know, rodeos with more added money and, maybe 30, 40 guys to compete against instead of 110. Um, and you like to wait and kind of, I don't know, take it easy through the winter, get feeling good and ready to go. Because once July hits, I mean, it's every day, sometimes twice a day. You better be in shape and feeling good when you get there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like you, and even like you layer like, and you talked about all these new special events, and you layer in the bronc matches. Like there's bronc matches all over the place now, and it seems like you layer that in with the rodeos. That's a lot of horses you're getting on because a lot of those you got to get on too. So it's kind of like the bull
Yeah.
riding format. So it's you're adding in another horse there. So I mean, it's a lot of wear
Yeah.
and tear on a guy. So you kind of got to manage it a little bit, eh?
Yeah, that's in your 100 rodeos. Yeah, there's lots that you're getting on long round, short round. There's lots
Mhm.
you're getting on tuna short. And then you go to, the San Antonios and Houston's and you're
Yeah.
getting on five, six, seven head if you have a good week. So yeah, you gotta kind of give your body a chance here and there and get recuperated and healed up, feeling good. And then when it's busy, you can take them by storm. Everyone's wore out and tired.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so how are you keeping yourself fit out of the arena? I know that's become a bigger thing. I know across all of the disciplines in rodeo, and more guys are putting in that work in the gym and that kind of stuff. But what are you doing to keep yourself at the top of your game?
Yeah, so Brad Clifford, Migration Unlimited, he's been training me for about 5 years now.
Hmm.
And so he sets programs for me, and that's another thing I enjoy about the winter. Is get to spend a lot of time in the gym there and get some consistency, which
Hmm.
isn't something we get a chance at often in this world. Um, and yeah, just working through the winter in the gym lots and the spring and fall when I'm home, gym lots in the summer. It's hard. We're on the run all the time. Try to make gas station stretches a priority. Every time you
Yeah,
get out of the
yeah.
truck, stretch something, get something moving again. And we have a chance, we try to do something a bit active. If we have a few hours one day, we try to hike up the mountain someplace, go fishing, or
Hmm.
you know, yeah, go fishing in a creek, ice their knees, something, go golfing, whatever.
Hmm.
Get out of the rig and move a little bit.
How are you layering in like nutrition? I know that's like probably the hardest thing during the busy months on the road is like eating right, especially on the road.
Yeah,
So
it's
what are you
it's
doing
real
there?
real hard living out of gas stations and whatever
Yeah.
fast food places open when you leave the rodeo at 11 o'clock at night. Uh, Hard to keep a nutritious diet. So yeah, it's lots of protein shakes and jerky and nuts and yeah, that's the bulk of my diet through the summer for sure.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Well,
try to get a good breakfast in. That's our meal for the day.
yeah, I guess that's all you can do. Like, at least there's getting more and more. Like, I've noticed, anyways, that some of the gas stations better snack options. Maybe not so much in the U.S., but up here at least there's some
Mhm.
better and better snack options. That helps a bit, I guess. Um, Back to 2024. So you qualified for the NFR. You finished the season with over 200,000 in earnings. Made 600 or 60,000 at the NFR after finishing fifth in the average and picking away winning some money in the rounds there. But what was it like at that point? I mean, that's got to be a career high in earnings for you, I would assume, or close to
think
it.
think I did a little better in
22.
22.
Oh, okay, okay.
Um, yeah, no, it was a great
Yeah, oh yeah,
year. I mean,
22. Yeah, yeah.
I can't complain. I guess didn't have the NFR I was hoping for.
Hmm.
Uh, it treated me good. I was able to stay in the average and place in a few rounds, and of course, you like to go in there and win them all.
Yeah.
Um, but considering how it went, I had some horses that didn't have the trip. They That lots kind of
Hmm.
end up in a fence somewhere, and you get caught in a fence for a jump or two, and they weaken just a little bit. Maybe you don't quite get them as good as you can. Well, there's a point or two, and
Yeah.
there's your chance at the money in the round. Um, had a few had a few running off the chutes and leaving a little funny too, and kind of trying to beat me up that way. But say we got 10 scores, stayed in the average, and
Hmm.
and got placed a few rounds, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, how do you maintain like a positive attitude in that going? I know like it seems like for anybody, and then like not saying your NFR wasn't successful, like you said, you rode 10 horses, got some money at the average, but it's like I'm sure you want more, but like how are you staying positive through those 10 days? It's got to be a grind mentally.
Yeah, it's a grind, and I mean you're preparing for it all the time. Uh, like that's our playoff season.
Hmm.
You watch the Oilers, they didn't have a very good regular season. They got the playoffs, and they're ready for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
You kind of gotta prepare for that and be ready mentally. And physically, of course. But short memory's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, good, good, bad, or ugly. You get done with one horse, and you take a few minutes, kind of went over how it went, and went over what could have went better, and you're looking at your next draw. Forget about it. Forget about that horse. The last three horses, whatever. You're on to the next one, and once that NFR gets over, you kind of have one night to party, and then you're looking at Denver again, and it's time to get the season started.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's wild how there's no rest for the wicked in our game, which is wild. And like you said, that goldfish memory really helps move the needle. I guess jumping back a little bit to the CFR. So CFR returned to Edmonton. I've talked about this like basically everybody I've had on lately, but I want to hear your take because it's obviously really close to you growing up in that area. But the CFR coming back to Edmonton for 2024 for the 50th edition of it. What did that mean to you to be part of it, and how big was that for Canadian Pro Rodeo to be back in Edmonton for the CFR?
It was so awesome. I mean, um, I grew up in Rexall Place.
Hmm.
We are at the CFR every year since I was born, and I think I clowned some mutton busting in there, and Dad and I did work some other things. I think we did some school visits and stuff outside of the CFR, and yeah, that was home. That was
Mhm.
I never saw it leaving there, and I got to ride there in the novice. I think the second last year is in Edmonton, and yeah, I was, kind of didn't believe that I was actually leaving when I did,
Hmm.
and I got to ride there, and they did an outstanding job. They worked real hard and put on a great show. But yeah, I was pretty excited to get back to Edmonton this year, and I mean that new arena, it's so cool,
Wow. Yeah.
so cool, and yeah, it's. I mean, the family all made their way down to Red Deer, but it's different when the family's all at
Yeah.
home and everyone gets to come in every day and yeah, it was amazing.
What was the experience like for you? I know maybe you didn't have your best CFR, maybe didn't cut the outcome didn't end up the way you wanted it to be, but what was it just like to be part of that 50th year and all the big moments like Cody Lamb? doing what he did, and Macy O'Clair doing what she did, and there's so many great moments I thought throughout that whole week. But and even your dad winning another Entertainer of the Year, like there were so many cool things from start to finish that whole week.
Yeah, it's all there and it's gone. She goes by fast, but it was dang sure a blast, and there are a lot of cool things. I mean, getting to help Mel on Bronc, he's helped me on
Yeah,
quite a few.
that's
Getting to help
cool.
him on one, that was
Yeah,
pretty cool moment. Yeah, seeing Dad up there on stage and winning that Entertainer of the Year again, and he'd been chasing that for a long time, that first one, and we were always trying to do our best, trying to do better
yep.
all the time and get a run at that. And yeah, see him getting awarded finally, it's pretty cool.
Well, and I guess Kyle, we can't forget about him. He won our version of the Linderman Award, which was really cool. That's gonna be a cool moment to share with him as well. And I mean, maybe
Yeah.
disappointing for him not making the CFR, but it's still a great achievement no matter what.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. That's a hard award to win. There's not a lot of guys that will even try,
Hmm.
There's not a lot of guys the guts to try. So that's very cool. It was, little bit too bad that he didn't make the CFR last year, and I guess it was me that bumped him out by I think $60. So that was a little rough. I've got some flack for that, but he'll be there. He'll be there probably this year, I bet.
Yeah, he's off to a good start, and he's one to watch this year, part of that young, kind of the next generation of the next generation of bronc riders in Canada. Um,
Hmm.
Last thing on 2024, maybe this is my kind of more of a 2025 question, but what's it going to take to beat Zeke in Canada? He's won the last five Canadian titles, and I know it's funny. I was talking to Ben and Logan about this, and it's like it'd be different if Zeke was like not as good of a guy as he was to like root against him or whatever. It'd be a lot easier, but he's like such a good champion and such a great person for our sport. But what do you think it's going to take to kind of dethrone Zeke at the top of the pile?
Oh, that's a tough ask. He's dang sure earned every one of those buckles he's
Hmm.
won, and he keeps proving it over and over again. The guy doesn't make mistakes very often, and you know, I I think I'm going to take a run at it this year and do all I can for
Hmm.
sure. I feel like I'm riding the best I have. I'm feeling solid, feeling good. Um, it's just going to take it's going to take a heck of a season. It's going to take a heck of a CFR, and he might have to stub his toe a little bit, but you know, it's like I say, it's a tough ask, but we're all chasing him, and we're all going to dang sure try and get him.
Probably just makes the competition that much better, like all you guys from top to bottom are riding so good, and then we just mentioned like that next wave of guys coming up, like the Sawyer Ericksons, your brother. There's so many good young talents, plus you guys. Like it's as competitive as it's ever been in Canada in saddle bronc riding.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that all stems back to Zeke too. I mean, he elevated our sport for us.
Hmm.
Um, I was just kind of getting into it when won his first world title, and it's, you know, holy cow, maybe this guy's got a chance. Maybe
Hmm.
we can go rodeo and make a living at this and do it. And there was that wave of them guys with Zeke and Clay and
Hmm.
Jake, Leighton, all making the NFR kind of out of the gates there, and they're all pretty young and doing good, getting down there, winning some rounds,
Hmm.
and obviously winning the world. Um, so this whole group that I'm in with the Hayes and Ben and uh, Ashbacker and Dom and Lucas, we were all kind of coming up through the amateurs at the time and in the novice and I think we were all seeing what those guys were doing, all seeing we could do it, and so then we got competitive
Hmm.
and I mean it was tough. It was tough amateur rodeo, and
Oh yeah.
you had to go out and really do something if you want to win. Um, and now we're all here and we're all making the NFR and CFR and still chasing down Zeke, but there's another wave coming, and there's some unreal talents, young guys coming up. Uh, like it's exciting to see where this sport is going to go, and I don't know how many Canadians we're going to get to see it to the NFR and the bronc ride in a year. They
It's
might have to
crazy.
put in a rule.
Yeah, yeah, have to cap it at some number, which is
Yeah,
it's cool because you kind of like you said, you're still trying to chase down the Zekes and of the world, and then you're kind of looking over your shoulder a little bit, having that other group pushing you guys. So it's really going to keep the competitiveness flowing up here for a long time.
yeah, yeah. No, the sport's in a good place and it's heading in a good direction. It's only going to get tougher and tougher. The horses are only getting better and better, and the money's getting better and better. And these rodeos, they're growing everywhere with the help of the Cowboy Channel and just there's been a real turn to the Western sports here last few years, and it's doing great things, and it's exciting to see the potential and excited to see where it goes.
Yeah,
I think
it's
rodeo's gonna go big.
yeah, it seems to be heading that way, man. It's pretty cool. And like you mentioned, the money, the horses, there's so many different like factors playing into it. And I kind of want to head down that vein a little bit, starting with the money side of things, and more specifically, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but the bronc matches, like there's been so many of them pop up, and we got some really big ones up here in Canada ourselves. We got Wildwood, Weyburn, Stettler, Gleason, Brule. That there's like dude, Cold Lake, you the one you just won a few weeks ago. Like they're popping up
Mhm.
everywhere, and that's becoming like the premier entertainment almost in rodeo. But what's it mean to you to have access to those amazing bronc matches, even like and the ones in the U.S. too, I guess.
They're cool. I mean, I love full rodeos. Um, you know, don't mess with tradition,
Hmm.
but the bronc matches, they're gaining ground, and you you go to a place like Pollockville, you spend a night there,
Pollockville.
you never seen rodeo before in your life. You're leaving there a fan. Like
Yeah.
it's the atmosphere, the excitement, um, the show, and like what them horses do in that arena. It's you know you could you could be sitting in the stands and not know what's going on, and your legs shaking, you're excited. Like it's intense there, and to have, I guess, bronc riding be this feature and this standalone events. Um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And when we go in and we're there for a night. We're doing it. We're putting on a show, and it's
Hmm.
just you get 30 of the boys together, and we're all best friends. We're all there hacking out and trying to come out on top. And um, yeah, it's a little different. I guess it creates an atmosphere and creates an excitement for you. Um, and these bronc matches, a lot of them they allow is for a little more even kind of horses and a little more even um deal than say over a 5-day rodeo where things can change a lot. The weather can change, the ground can change, however you look at it. Yeah, it's coming there, and you get all them best guys, and you just want to come out on top and get on the baddest horse in the short round, get to do something cool.
It's fun to like when you go to the ones that have like the pick your poison in the short go. I know that's kind of like a more of a bull riding thing, but it's something a bit new for you guys. But it's really cool to be able to pick your matchup, like we saw Zeke and Virgil last year. But that's kind of a different part of the game too, hey?
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes I wish they just draw them for me because I can't pick. I mean,
Yeah, fair enough.
but it does make it exciting for sure. And you sit there and you're reading down that list, and what's that guy gonna pick? What's he gonna
Hmm.
pick? What am I gonna have to choose from? And yeah, then when it gets to you, and you try and pick something that again suits your style and is your kind of horse. Um, Sometimes it works, sometimes you were very wrong, but
Yeah, yeah, it's
but it
cool.
dang sure adds to excitement.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's really neat, and even just like you say, the competition. Like you got to put together two really solid bronc rides to even get into the championship round, and then you got to be pushing the 90s to even think about winning the event itself. So you could. I think it was at Zeke's bronc ride last year. I think you were had to be like 86 or 87 just to get into the top 10 for the final.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the same with all of them, but it's just wild that You go to a lot of rodeos and you can win a rodeo with 82 points a lot of the time, which is wild too in its own right. But it's just crazy how it just changes the dynamic, like you say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely does. And, especially in those premier those premier bronc matches when it's the best horses and the
Hmm.
best guys. I mean, it's intense, it's exciting, and yeah, you might go knocking 86 out of them and you think you're doing pretty good. Actually, that might not probably won't make any money.
Yeah.
Probably won't make the short round.
It's crazy, man. It's awesome. Good
Yeah.
exciting times for sure. And I guess if you're listening to this and you've ever been to a bronc match, find one near you and go because they're fun as heck. Um,
Yeah.
Second part of
There's a
that
lot
is
of great ones out there.
it's crazy. Yeah, there's so many great ones. Second part of that question, Colby, the horses. I think you've been part of that wave that's been fortunate enough to grow up, I guess, with the next like this generation of Canadian bucking horses and seen some of the past greats and the current greats and what's coming up next. But what's that? How has that helped your career? And then what's that like been to see like you guys kind of grow with the Canadian bucking horses of now?
Yeah, I mean, Canada's always been known for
Hmm.
broncs, but it's grown exponentially. That from the big ranches, the Calgary Stampede, the C5 ranch, like they're raising a lot of good colts, a lot of good colts, and they're testing out a bunch every year, and they're coming with a new load of fresh stuff that bucks hard
Hmm.
every year. Um, but then you go down the line, and there's all of these smaller guys raising a handful and playing the futurity game, and going to these different amateur rodeos and our open events and practice pens and getting these horses bucked. And I mean, as a kid in Canada, if you want to learn to ride broncs, this is where you need to be
Hmm.
in Alberta. I mean, you could leave Red Deer and you could drive to probably six different practice pens in a week within 2 hours of the house, and you're gonna get on something that bucks. That's a guarantee.
Wow.
Um, it's amazing. Yeah, there's so many horses coming, and all these guys. I mean, they're competing with each other. They're wanting to go to these sales and make a living doing this. So they're all working hard at it, and it's showing. The the horsepower just keeps getting better and better and better, and you know there's a um there's always some amazing broncs in that top end, and those are real hard to find. But even more so, what's this doing is it's bringing up the bottom line. You're
Hmm.
not seeing as many the weaker horses, the ones that aren't a chance. Like when you show up to a pen, where maybe half of them before you didn't have a chance to win on. Well, it's getting to where they're just about all of a chance to place. A couple are a chance to win the rodeo. Uh, Definitely, yeah, helps to level the playing field and make it more of a riding contest.
Yeah, it's like it kind of ties into that whole theme of like the competition is getting better, like it aside from you guys competing against each other, it's the horse levels getting the horse quality is getting so much better that you guys have to elevate your game or you're going to fall behind. You see it kind of in the PBR where the stock level has really outweighed the actual riding competition where you don't get as many rides at PBR anymore just because the bulls are so good, but you guys have found a way to keep up with the progression of the horse. I mean, it's way different. It's a different event, but I mean, it's similar in that sense. I would say.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely makes you better, especially when you're always getting on a good
Hmm.
one. If you ever see a guy and you see him not ride the way you think he should for a few times in a row, it's probably because he got on a few bad ones in a row, maybe before that
Yep.
or through that. And it's getting on bad horses that's where the mental game comes in. Guys start to question their stuff, question their equipment, their stirrups set right, is the saddle getting wearing out or could be whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that wears on a mental game, and then all of a sudden a guy gets to a good horse and he's been worrying about all this stuff and changing all this stuff, trying to figure it out, and you mess up a good one. So when you can consistently get on good horses and not have them ones that make you question yourself or make you feel like you don't know what you're doing, you keep doing that. Well, you get confidence, you get rolling, and all of a sudden your aggression grows and you're more likely to make perfect bronc rides and really reach up there and let loose right out of the gate because you're not worried about hitting the ground. You're not worried about how it feels. You're just going for it,
Yeah, no, that makes
trusting yourself and trusting your equipment.
yeah, that makes total sense, man. That's huge. Um, who would you, is there a horse that you have like maybe like a up and coming horse that we should be looking out for? I know everybody's kind of got the pulse on the big names like the Virgils and all the great Stampede horses and the little muffins of the world, I guess. But who would you say is a horse that we should keep our eye on heading into 2025?
Mm.
Good. Put you on the spot, but you seem like you got a pretty good beat on all that stuff.
Yeah, it's tough because we're kind of just getting into the season where we start to see
Mhm.
them young ones. We haven't quite
Okay.
got there yet. It's usually, through these spring bronc matches coming up here and these early rodeos where these stock contractors start to show up with their good best young ones, stuff they want to show off. So I guess, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to answer that yet.
We'll
Have
circle
to check
back.
back in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'll circle back with you on that one for sure. So let's talk about 2025 so far. You've been off to a really good start to the season. You're sitting sixth in the world, had some success in that early run down south. You're sitting eighth in Canada, got a couple big wins in Cold Lake and Med Hat. But I want to start with Fort Worth. So you had a really good week there. That led into probably you said it yourself in your Instagram post, the wreck of the season so far. So I'm gonna try something here so I can pull up your post here, and I just want you to kind of like break it down for me a little bit here. So just give me 1 sec. So
Man.
tell us what's going on here and what happened because this is a wild ass video. I've been wanting to talk to you about this for a long time.
Yeah, I called the wreck of the year because I hope no one goes through one worse, especially myself. But that's Tickle Pink from Championship Rodeo, and yeah, he's a bucking sucker. He goes CNFR in the Eliminator pen every year. Um, got on him there once and rode him all right, but I made some poor judgments that day. See, he's a high-headed horse. He holds his head real high and really pumps it back to you. So you don't give him very much rein. I mean, if you go long, he'll get you strung out and get you behind.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing is sometimes he really buries his head when he goes to leave. So I went pretty short and I run some fingers through my rein, try and keep him from stealing any, so I wouldn't slide a little bit and end up long.
Hmm.
And that first jump, he really put his head down and bogged it, and he's a little tougher than
Yeah.
I am, I guess. My hands just hit my swells and kind of cracked my knuckles open, and instead of sliding him a little bit of rain and ended up long and loose, he got all of it. Left
Oh man. Aye, so
left
what's
me
going
no
through
hands, and
yeah, what's going through your head there? Like just trying to self-preservation as much, but I guess you're kind of like at the mercy of the horse.
yeah, I mean, I trying to stay alive. See,
Hmm.
you don't like in that situation. I had nowhere to go because he's trying to send you out the back.
Hmm.
Um, if you try and roll to a side, well, you're going to hang a stirrup and you're going to end up underneath of him, dragging, catching a foot, getting stepped on. So you're in a wreck. You got to get forward. And so that's, I just kept reaching, trying to grab my swells and pull myself forward. And every time my hands would touch him, all my chin would rip my hands off my swells and bust them loose again. And yeah, finally it just all come apart. I ended up going where I was trying to avoid, but got lucky. Just he kind of caught me on the hip and spun me around and uh, just sorted me up a little bit. Missed everything important.
Dang, that's well. I thank you for humoring me for that because I've been curious about talking about that with you. But man, like wild wreck and glad you came out okay. But you don't see wrecks like that very often in the saddle mark routing, so it's interesting
Yeah,
and like you said, miss all the important stuff and you're able to walk away and ride another day. So excuse me, that's
yeah,
the positive, but man, that's wild. But anyways, aside from that, you had a really good start down there. So what was the kind of the feeling heading into 2025? You just came into the season feeling, like you said, got that time in the gym and just started feeling good, or what's led to this success early on?
yeah. I yeah, time in the gym and just time away from rodeo too.
Hmm.
You know, focusing on some different things and kind of I guess training myself mentally with different things besides rodeo and being able to apply it to rodeo. Um, I came in feeling confident, ready to go, and with a short memory again. Um, and yeah, I tried out a different saddle just because I had it in the tack room and I was looking pretty comfy. So I thought I better take it for a test ride. And I think it's just fits me a touch better. It's not a whole lot different, but just allows me to open up a little bit more. And my spur outs have felt sharper, and my money jumps have felt sharper. Um, so yeah, it's all kind of went in together, and I tried to, yeah, not worry as much about standings and if I'd won enough money yet or what, if I rodeoing hard enough. I kind of just went to the ones I wanted to, went to the big ones and went and rode colts in between and, kind of broke loose from it, roped a bit, and go back and it was just working every weekend. So it is dang sure a good winter and coming to spring here and with the baby on the way, I stayed home for a month. I didn't really enter any rodeos. I stuck down to Medicine Hat and Tabor in between. Um, but other than that, I was home waiting for baby to show up. And shoot, when I did leave, I won. When I left the house, I got to win and went to Cold Lake, and that was real well. It's great new event there
Hmm. Hmm.
that John Mitchellus and the C5 crew put on, and um, yeah, it's a was a nice hit, and now we're back. Everyone's doing good. Mom's doing good. Baby's doing good. So I gotta go. I gotta go back to work, I
Back to
guess,
work.
and
Yeah.
get to rodeo.
Right on, man. That's awesome to hear. And yeah, you say like Cold Lake, a great new event. That's a good shot into the standings. That'll jump you up next time they're updated, I'm sure, in Canada and in the world. But yeah, it's getting me able to have a hot start in the spring. It's we talked about it earlier, maybe not as important as it was before, but just having that insurance blanket, even we could call it, it just maybe takes the pressure off and allows you to have a little bit more fun as we head into the busy summer.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like I said, there's a good times to get hot all the time, but
Mhm.
you dang sure want to be consistently picking away and getting some here and there. Um, it's pretty easy for a guy to drop out of the standings in a couple of weeks if you're not, everyone's out there, everyone's winning money. So yeah, I just gotta keep going and be consistent and um pick away the whole way and win the rodeo when they give you a chance. So
Yeah, that's all you can do. I want to talk about Mel Highland. You mentioned him earlier. How big of an influence has he been on your career and having someone like that to lean on when you need him? Like you say, he's helped you get on a bunch of times, and obviously he's been a huge part of your career up till now.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. He when he heard I was starting, he sent me his shops and his old spurs and went with my parents, helped them pick out a saddle that'll work for me and kind of got things going. And yeah, he's always been a phone call away to run through videos and figure out what I'm doing wrong, where I'm missing points, and you know he he'll vouch for it that no one can teach you how to ride broncs, but um, he gave me those tips and he dang sure kind of taught me how to win and and how to you know get those extra few points out of every horse and when you don't have the one to win on, you find a way to place.
Hmm.
When you got one that's a chance to place, so you figure out how to win on it. And kind of just, yeah, going through it, taking one horse at a time and being consistent and being strong and being ready when you get to the finals and don't be changing anything.
Hmm.
Do it worked all year and it's no different. Just carry on and sometimes it works out and you win. And sometimes it don't. Come back, try again next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good way to look at it. At the end of the day, it's just another rodeo, and yeah, keep picking away, and think good things will come your way for sure. Okay, Colby. Before I let you go here, buddy, I want to talk about growing up with Ricky. We talked about it a bit earlier in the show, but obviously that had to have been tons of fun growing up with your dad on the road and at these events, and you got to do some clowning and had some fun acts and stuff you guys have done over the years. But yeah, just kind of give us an overview of what that was like growing up on the road with your dad.
Yeah, it was a blast. Of course, it was a blast. You know, can't think of a much better childhood than traveling the country with your family and rodeoing. And getting paid to act stupid. Go out there and have fun and yeah, try and make people laugh and smile for a day and forget about their problems. He, you know, uh, my dad is always trying to better the sport of rodeo. That's what he set out to do. He we got to visit hospitals and go in parades and go to schools and just talk about rodeo and explain how it all worked and try to make it fun for everybody. Said try and put a smile on their face and take the problems away. Um, and growing up is it was so cool to be a part of it, so cool to
Mhm.
see how hard he worked to do that and to put rodeo in a positive outlook and try to grow the sport and expand the sport. And he's got people bringing their grandkids to rodeo that were kids at the fence. You know, when he first started going to those rodeos years ago. Um, so he's had a big influence on a lot of kids all over the country, and yeah, I'm pretty thankful he had the biggest influence on me. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. What I guess and I don't want to go without mentioning your mom, but she's also been a big help with your family and influence on you and kind of the driver of the bus when it comes to the Wanchuk family.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Not a whole lot would get done without her. Uh, no, she keeps us all organized and in line and on path for sure. And yeah, they both are always trying to do anything they can to help me and Kyle get to our rodeos and get down the road and you know, making sure we're eating right and staying positive
Mhm.
and yeah, got our mindset right and moving forward. So
So when you decided you were gonna move on and kind of follow your own path in the rodeo world, did you have to like talk to your dad, be like, hey man, like I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to find a replacement in the crew, or how did that conversation go down?
no, I'm sure he saw it coming and he always been very, very supportive,
Mhm.
whatever we wanted to do. Um, and yeah, I guess he got me help with a few clown acts after I was kind of gone rodeoing, but no, he saw it coming and when I made it clear kind of what my goals were and where I wanted to be and where I was heading, yeah, he's all in and whatever he can do to help and promote it
Mhm.
and make it easier for me to accomplish.
Yeah, you can see how proud he is of you and Kyle and just the family in general, and it's really cool to see. It's been fun to follow along over the years. Do you have a favorite act or a favorite memory of one act you guys were doing? I know we've talked about this in the past, maybe, but maybe something for this time. But what is there something that comes to mind quickly from those days?
There's, I mean, we had some good acts. We had some good acts, and uh, you know, there's lots of times those acts went wrong. Usually make them funnier. Sometimes they'd make it hurt more for us. But I guess, shit, I don't know. I always loved doing the fire truck act.
Mhm.
You know, we run into some fences here and there sometimes and get in some wrecks. It's always a fun act. Lots of fireworks and bombs and yeah, shoot, get to ride up on that ladder and go round and round, and then uh, when that truck comes out of its wheelie, it comes down and would catapult me out their way. It was always pretty fun.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff, man. Good memories for sure. Okay, buddy. One more thing before I let you go. 2025. Is there a rodeo or an event on your bucket list that you haven't won yet that you'd like to pick up a win on? And then second half, is there a horse dream matchup you'd like to have at some point this summer?
Oh, well, there's I guess there's a lot of both. Um, I've been in the short round. I've been in the 4 round, I think 3 times now, but I'd sure like to get the Pinocchio win.
Mm.
Sure like to get that buckle. Um, that's probably at the top of that bucket list right now.
So what
Um,
horse in the 4 round of Pinocchio would you want to see beside your name or draw to that hat?
ooh, that's it's another
Loaded,
tough question.
loaded question.
Yeah. Um, you know, I hmm, it's tough to say. Tough to say in that 4 round. There's gonna be four dang good
Yeah,
ones.
that's true.
You know, I'm not sure what it'll be this year. I bet there's something new and young shows up before we get there that
Yeah.
earns a name in that short round. Um, Dandy Delight, that's one I've been really wanting to get on. And when he has his trip, he's going to come out there. He's going to have moves, but he's dang sure going to buck. And I think if the guy can stay ahead of him and get a good spur ride start on him, he'll stack up for a guy in the middle of the arena. And yeah, I could take a guy to a buckle. My dream matchup, and I don't know if there's going to be many more opportunities though, is I dang sure want to get on Virgil before he's
Oh
done.
yeah, that'd be cool.
And yeah, that's one I've been manifesting since the first trip they put him in the bronc ride, and every time he's going to draw somewhere, I'm manifesting it, dreaming about it. Hasn't come true yet, so
Hopefully it happens this year, man. That'd be really cool to see. And it's always fireworks when Virgil's in either the bareback or the saddle bronc. So yeah, hopefully that comes
mhm.
true for you this year, buddy.
Yeah, you got him. You're winning the rodeo. You're hitting the ground. So
Yeah, right on, man. I love it. Cool, man. Okay, well, like I said before, thank you so much for the time today. I know you're busy, you got lots going on, but it's been fun to catch up, and I'll see you down the road this summer, I'm sure.
sounds good. I will see you. Thank you.
All right. Well, this has been the short round, and we will be back next time.